This land was made for you and me.
One more time.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest
to the Gulf Stream
water. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
And I see a lot of the usual suspects here, people who were here for No Kings #1 back in June, when we had really nasty weather. Nor'easter was blowing, not as bad as it was this past weekend, but it showed how tough we are. But anyway, welcome to No Kings #2, 2.0. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. And you know, we can all take comfort because we're just one small part of almost 3,000 of these events going on around the country today. We're peaceful, but we're angry. Across the country also and around the world, people are standing up today in solidarity with us against the daily unconstitutional outrages from the Trump administration. We at Indivisible are glad you are here, actually Indivisible Nantucket, excuse me, and we're exercising our First Amendment right of peaceable assembly. But we do have a couple of requests. One of those I just mentioned about the sidewalks. Some people were not a little happy about closing the street down, so we are asking everybody, hey, if you got a few bucks to spend, shop local today and all the way through the holiday season that's coming up, okay? So we got a few things on the program. The Declaration of Independence is going to be read, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. And we're going to start off with remarks from my favorite Nantucket historian, retired high school principal and history teacher Peter Panchi. I'm sure some of you had him for a teacher. I did not go to school here. I've only been here since 1991. But we're going to bring him up here now, and he's going to start off, give us a little historical perspective that he always does. And Peter Panchi, come on up.
So Jen, why are you here today?
Because I think it's the right thing to do. I think things that are going on in our country are horrific and not okay. And I believe that all people should be treated kindly and with care, and I feel like we're not being cared for, and many people of color are particularly not being cared for, and I'm here to fight for them as well as for anybody. So,
Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. This is important. Many of us here today now wake up to a country that we have not previously known. In recent weeks, current administration officials such as President Trump, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson have labeled participants in this rally as part of Antifa and the enemy within. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are rightfully concerned citizens peacefully and lawfully exercising our rights to protest oppression by our government. When asked about the No Kings rallies, White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson responded, "Who cares?" Our answer, we, the concerned American citizens who love their country and respect its foundational values, care. Resisting oppressive government is the singular purpose of the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to our Constitution. Without it, we would not have become the United States of America, as the requisite 9 states would not have ratified the Constitution without the agreement to include these safeguards. The American colonists fought for a long 7 years to rid themselves of the brutal and repressive rule of a government headed by a king. In their first attempt to create their own government, they were so fearful of the oppression of a king, they created the Articles of Confederation. They called it a firm league of friendship. It did not have an executive branch. It failed. While creating the Constitution, those fears of executive abuse had not lessened. And there was great debate regarding the executive and how to check its power. Thus, separation of powers and checks and balances were part of the final design, but may be failing us now. Even after the completion of the Constitution in Philadelphia, those fears persisted, and the Bill of Rights was quickly incorporated into our Constitution. They rejected a king back then, and we must now resist to oppose the threat of a modern version. The Congress and the courts must do their duty as designed, and we must also do ours. We must stand up and speak out against actions which violate our Constitution and international law. Provocation and threats of domestic martial law, preordained elections, suppression of information, education, and knowledge itself, racism, bigotry, misogyny, corruption and greed, bullying, and the weaponization of government against political opponents and our norms and values. We must oppose the disregard for our institutions and for us, the citizens of the United States. We must oppose the use of insulting rhetoric, which denigrates and inflames passions. We must oppose the creation of a society steeped in incivility, disrespect, political extremism, and violence. And yes, even hate. Increased divisiveness is constantly manipulated in order to expand oppressive power. The distortion of concepts like diversity, equality, and inclusion, and the blatant inhumanity inherent in our treatment of immigrants and others. They are us. As far back as Aristotle, it was recognized that democracy must be based on reason, mutual respect, and compromise. We cannot allow these fundamental and foundational attributes to disappear from our society. I believe the president should read the Constitution that he swore an oath to uphold. Recently, when he was discussing the burning of our flag, he said, "We took the freedom of speech away because it's been through the courts, and the courts said you have freedom of speech." But what has happened when they burn the flag? It agitates and irritates crowds. He does not have the power to take freedom of speech away. But it is extremely clear that our Bill of Rights is under constant and widespread attack. He claims only he can provide peace and order. He hopes you'll believe it so that he can further trample our constitutional rights. The president lies. Peaceful protests become riots and war zones. Our free press is being muzzled and suppressed. Legal expressions of opinion are labeled incendiary and hateful. State and local rights and powers are ignored and violated. Illegal search and seizure are commonplace. The rights to due process and fair jury trials are ignored. Unconstitutional, cruel, and unjustified punishment is rampant. This is an unconscionable destruction of what it means to be an American. We must stand up in protest. Almost 250 years ago, Thomas Jefferson beautifully documented an abused people's demands for freedom and self-government. We read the Declaration today to acknowledge its inspired vision for a nation promising equality, peace, and justice for all, and documenting the abuses the colonists had suffered under an uncaring king. The Declaration has become a beacon for hope and freedom throughout the world. Its implementation in our country has been a march towards justice for women, people of color, and diverse religions. The negative response to this progress has spawned a resurgence of a desire for a white, male, single religion supremacy, which is creating the ugliness we are currently experiencing. We should also remember Jefferson's guidance regarding the nature of democracy. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of those ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and institute new government. We hope Jefferson's words can inspire us again today. Thank you.
I would like to ask you why you are here today.
I'm here because I have 5 grandchildren, and every night before I kiss them goodbye, I'm worried about the future that I'm leaving them. Ironically, I was a diehard Republican my whole life. My birthday is Ronald Reagan's birthday. My dad's the Bush family. but this isn't the Republican Party of my younger youth, so I've changed dramatically to the other side. And I think we're totally ruining democracy and burning the Constitution for my 5 grandchildren. I think our generation's done a poor job of protecting it. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do to stand up for my grandkids.
I'm here today to support the Constitution and the rule of law here in this country, in the United States of America. We have a current administration that's running roughshod over our rights, and we need to make sure that they are protected. And the only way to do that is by standing up ourselves as individuals and joining together to make our voices heard so that they know how we feel about this and we can enact real change in this country.
Thank you, Peter. Unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of land. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has effected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections amongst us and has endeavored to bring on the known rule of warfare in an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here.
We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity and we've conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly and publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor.
As mentioned before, our Bill of Rights was specifically created as a bulwark against oppressive government. Our current administration's actions require us to exercise our rights and the powers as provided in this document. It is important that we understand them. Virtually every one has been transgressed by an act or in spirit. Bill of Rights. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That says something.
Amendment 3. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
Amendment 7. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people.
Can you tell us why you're here today?
To promote freedom.
We're fearful of Donald Trump, and we want our rights back. It's that simple.
Yes, I'm here to defend democracy as much as we can possibly do to get that tyrant out of office. Never should have been elected in the first place.
I'm back. The heart of the Declaration of Independence was a letter to the King of England, enumerating the abuses and violence imposed on the 13 colonies, basically declaring, we don't want a king anymore. We're going to start a democracy of, by, and for the people. So take a hike, George. Yeah, him too. So in that spirit, I've composed a letter to the wannabe king that wants to be king over us. And I'm going to need some help from the audience on this. Basically, it's a lot like a poem, but like little short statements. And after every one, I'm going to go, no kings, and you're going to shout it back at me. You want to try a couple? No kings. No kings. Nice. So, dear wannabe king, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. We the people demand the following. Stop your weaponization of the Department of Justice, your campaign of retribution against everyone who has worked to hold you accountable for all your crimes is pathetic. Your politically motivated, baseless indictments will not stand. No kings! No kings! Get your undertrained and overpaid ICE agents out of our cities and towns. Their abusive and illegal tactics are un-American and amount to nothing more than kidnapping. They are no better than Hitler's Gestapo. But the Gestapo didn't even wear masks. The only people benefiting from your racist immigration policies are the prison industrial complex. No kings! No kings! Stop the illegal deployment of the National Guard to states and cities run by Democrats. Your imaginary crime waves are not in blue states. Crime is way more powerful and violent in the red states. Cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and Portland are large, diverse, multicultural cities, and they are not on fire, and they are not war zones. Look it up. Turn off Fox News and read something for a change. No kings! No kings! I got to turn the page. Hold on. Stop attacking freedom of speech. Our First Amendment guarantees that we can speak our minds whenever we want, even if you don't like what we have to say, especially if you don't like what we have to say. Dissent is patriotic. No kings! No kings! Stop the assault on women's rights, reproductive health care. Let's hear it for the women. I've been saying for 25 years, let the women run the show. Hopefully soon. Reproductive health care, economic opportunities, protection from violence have all been rolled back here and globally under your watch. Women don't want to be barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen. The 1950s are not coming back. No kings! Stop bullying colleges and universities by cutting off research funding for critical projects. The United States has always been the undisputed leader in science, medicine, and technology, and that all begins at the university level. Climate science, cancer, Alzheimer's, and dementia research are all critical for the 21st century. Give them the money and leave them alone. No kings! All right. Stop illegally impounding funds appropriated by Congress. We the people want and sometimes need government services to help us out. That includes food stamps, Medicaid, FEMA, weather reports, NOAA, clean energy, and the EPA. And don't even think about tampering with Medicare and Social Security. No kings! Stop firing government workers under the guise of waste, fraud, and abuse. We're a country of 340 million people, and we need bureaucrats to run the show, especially in agencies like the CDC, the NIH, and the FDA that are critical to our collective health. We don't want to be exposed to measles again. No kings! Stop with the erratic on-again, off-again tariffs on things we buy from around the world. Inflation is rising again. Consumer confidence is down. We are an economic pariah on the world stage. Joe Biden fixed the mess you left us after your first term, and you came back and promptly broke it again. Thanks for nothing. No kings. Stop bullying law firms and media companies into pushing your conservative agenda. The extremist worldview of Project 2025 is not what we want or need. Stop trying to force the white male conservative values on us. We don't want it, but we'll fight for your right to believe whatever you want. You're welcome. No kings. Stop trying to muzzle comedians and artists. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. What's the matter? Poor baby can't take a joke? Here, have a binky. No kings. Stop opening our public lands and national parks to logging, strip mining, and drilling interests. Our environmental laws have saved countless endangered species over the last 50 plus years. No kings. Stop marginalizing people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, indigenous nations, and non-Christians. Our strength as a nation has always been our diversity. No kings. No kings. You have trashed our good name around the world. We are now considered totally untrustworthy by all our allies in NATO and elsewhere. Alliances that we built over 80 years since World War II are now fractured. All the soft power we had has disappeared because you insulted everyone and cut off funding for all manner of global initiatives that had won us the hearts and minds of millions for decades. No kings. No kings. Tell your sycophantic attorney general to release the Epstein files. Complete and unredacted. We know your names all over them, so let's see them now. No kings. No kings. Lastly, yes. Lastly, and most important, stop with the incessant lying about anything and everything every time you open your pie hole. Your assault on the rule of law has left Lady Liberty on her knees in such a short period of time, but we will nurse her back to health when you are gone, and that is soon to come. No kings. We didn't want a king back in 1775, and 250 years later, we still don't want one in 2025. Our democracy was working pretty good, notwithstanding all the corrupt money flowing into our elections, but then you came along and completely broke it. And speaking of elections, don't even try running for a third term. Signed, we the people. No kings. No kings. No kings. All righty. Nicely done. It's way better than the first one when it was raining. All right. We got a couple more tunes from Susan and Ray, and we're going to do the march like we did the last time around town here. And just a couple of simple rules. We're going to go down Center Street, Broad Street, Water Street, back up Main Street, and then we're going to disperse. Please stay on the sidewalks when we get to that after a couple of songs here. I'll give you the cue. My buddy Jim right here with the American flag is going to lead us down the sidewalk here, right? So, again, thanks for coming, and keep fighting. Keep fighting. We deserve this. We deserve the country we had, and we will have it again, I think. So thanks again.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer